Today's Monday, April 17, 2023. The time is 11:18 hours. Sergeant Samuel with Internal Affairs Unit speaking with Sergeant Khaalis of the Homicide Unit, reference to OPS 23-041. Sergeant Khaalis, can you say your name, payroll, please, and your position?
Nicole Khaalis. I am payroll 5182, supervisor in homicide.
Okay, you've been given a copy of the Garrity form and the notification of OPS forms, which you signed and understand both of them?
I do.
Okay. May 20, 2021, were you supervisor in the homicide unit?
I was one of the supervisors.
Okay, who's the other supervisor?
I want to say it was Zachary Burdett.
Okay. Are you familiar with, you got a chance to review the report and the BWC for CRN 210502-037?
I did.
Okay, do you remember the case, the specifics of the case? Detective Wood was the primary detective on this case, correct?
Correct.
Okay, how often do you guys get updates as supervisors from the detectives when they're going through these kind of investigations?
It depends, case by case.
Okay. What's your procedures for turning in case files for the detectives?
What's the procedure?
Yeah, like how soon after an arrest is made are they required to turn in a case file?
It's supposed to be 60. I know the DA's office want it by 90 days, but that's what it's supposed to be. It just all depends because now lately, since I've been in the office, they turn in partial case files due to not having all the evidence and stuff back from search warrants, whether they're phone records or anything else like that. But it's supposed to be 60 to 90 days.
Okay, and when they are assigned these investigations, is there a specific supervisor that they would report to with their updates, or is it whoever's there?
Who's ever in the office, because we work 1 week days and 1 week nights. So I will get some information and the other co-sergeant will get some information. Not one sergeant will get all information.
Okay. Now, for this report in specific, do you remember supervisor approving it?
I do.
Okay. Did you get a chance to look at the BWC after you approved this report?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. I don't look at all BWCs from all homicides. I don't.
Okay. So, in reference to this case, after reading the case and looking at the BWC video, there are some discrepancies.
Correct.
Okay. I'm on LT. Okay, based off the discrepancies, do you believe that there should have been an arrest made in this case?
Based on the discrepancies from...
Okay, the report says that the victim saw the suspect shooting at her.
Correct.
The BWC says when the shots started being fired, she got on the ground and she didn't see.
Correct.
So based off of that...
That's... Okay, let me explain something. That was in reference to an aggravated assault.
Yes.
Not the homicide itself.
Yes, that's what we're talking about, the ag assault.
Okay. Now, in reference to the aggravated assault, based on Mrs. Love's statement that she made via the body-worn camera, no, an arrest should not have been made on that aggravated assault against Mr. Jarvis.
Mm-hmm. But had you looked at the BWC in reference to the ag, would there have been some discussion in reference to like deeper investigation?
Most definitely.
Okay, and you say Lieutenant Burdett now. What kind of okay, when she came to somebody with that information, was it you or was it Burdett in reference to the arrest based off of her PC? There's no...
I can't recall that. That was so long ago. But I do remember reviewing the report.
Okay. Something else that came up, evidence. There's some things that, this is 2 years ago, that maybe should have been done back then, as far as DNA swabs being taken in GBI, shell casings being turned in. There's some search warrant returns that haven't been just getting done. Mm-hmm. Do you guys as supervisors advise them that once you get these cases that this, and this needs to be done before you move forward with doing the rest? Okay. As these assign this case,
Yes.
there's evidence reference to the homicide that is just being turned in within the last couple weeks. Now, how do you guys keep track of when they're, like, what they call the activity logs? I know they not done, but how do y'all track what they're doing on that case before it goes to trial?
We don't. Now, as far as homicide cases, when it comes to us reviewing a report, we review the report, and once they say that they have everything inside the report, we make sure that the report is accurate. As far as if they did these search warrants, we make sure the search warrants are in the case file. Now, normally, we used to, before this new DA's office, they would normally get assigned to an ADA. That ADA takes that case apart. Once the ADA takes that case apart, that ADA gives a list of everything that they need stuff to be done. And in that list, the ADA might say, I need these particular swabs to go to the GBI. I need this to go to the GBI. I need this to go to the GBI. The GBI will not take every last thing that we collect. So therefore, we don't take a lot of stuff that we collect to the GBI until directed by the ADA. Now, to me, if you taking a swab, in this case, if you taking swabs, she got Roundtree's DNA and somebody else's DNA. I just read it. Those should have been taken to the GBI. The gun that she said that serial number match that Aaliyah had should have been taken to the GBI. As far as follow back up, I have not followed back up because normally we get that list from the ADA's office and they'd be like, well, Sarge, I'm going to do this, and this. Ashley, in this case, I don't know how long after this case was over that she left the office, but she had been trying to leave the office, and we was trying to get her to finish her cases. This is not the only case that she didn't all the way finish. So when it comes to what do we do after the fact, it's a case by case because you can't take everything to the GBI because they won't accept it.
Okay. Did the ADA that was assigned this investigation ever send y'all a list of stuff that she needs to do?
I don't know because I don't remember the case.
Would he have sent it to?
They will send it to the investigator. They won't send it to the supervisor.
Okay. Last thing I got. 2 homicide investigators that I've interviewed said that it's common practice for you guys not to turn in your return for search warrants until right before discovery.
Okay, let me explain that. That was Santoro's error. When I first came to the office, Santoro was my co-sergeant. He never wanted them to turn in their returns before they got a trial date because of something happened in 2 of his cases prior to when he was a detective. I didn't agree with it, but our lieutenants never made it a big deal. So they would turn in their case files and none of their returns will be completed until they got a court date. So now that's changed. So now I'm happy because I felt like it wasn't a good rule anyway. But that's true.
That's not a common practice anymore?
No, not now. But it has been for a long time until they just made that change and I seen the thing. Some of the detectives, I'll put it like this. The new detectives, they don't do that. They return their things. The detectives that have been in the office 3 years or more, which in my office now will be Detective Dees, Detective Hildebrandt, and that's it. Those 2.
Jason.
Oh, and Manley. I'm sorry. So if y'all go through, y'all will see a lot of returns that's not done for none of their cases, and that's because that was a common practice of that. But as far as the newer detectives, they turn in they do their returns, but not. I wouldn't say they wait until they get a court date, but they do turn in their returns once they get all evidence and stuff like that back, or when they can find a judge, because it just all depends. Now the new policy is within 10 days. Sometimes the judges be like, well, no, I can't because you want to go to the same judge that you got the search warrant from. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on their schedule. So we taking all that into consideration as well.
Yeah, but if there's something like an extenuating circumstance, of course.
So has there been a directive given from you guys as the supervisors to these guys, including the older ones now, that they have to serve their search warrants in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this was done probably not in the last month or since Ashley's been on. This was done after Santoro left?
No.
No, this has just been done?
Yes.
Okay.
This has just been done within, I was in training. So while I was in training, so sometime in March.
Okay. But before that, so it was just the common practice,
Yes.
people doing what they want. Okay. Do you have a process for tracking whether or not case files are turned in?
Yes.
What's that process?
It's on the drive. It's on the new OneDrive. If you go under criminal investigations, internal, go to homicide. If you go by the year, it'll tell you check marks if a case file has been turned in, or if it's not been turned in, it'll still be open.
Okay, and how often would you say you review that?
When they turn in a case file.
Okay.
And when we get reviews from the lieutenant to say how many open outstanding cases we have, I'll go back and look. The tracker is for both supervisors within the homicide unit that can make adjustments to it.
Okay, and was there ever any follow-up with Ashley over the last couple of years where this case file hasn't been turned in and she's been asked to turn
Yes.
it in? Okay, was that done phone, email?
That I can't tell you.
Okay, do you know if you have any written documentation of directing her to get her case file turned in?
I don't. I can't say that off the top of my. I would have to look at my emails because I'm good at doing emails. When this was done, I want to say that I was doing what would be called work plans. Mm-hmm. We stopped doing work plans because they wanted to do this new. Anyway, I would do what's called work plans. On that work plan, it'll have it's quarterly. So on a work plan, it'll have all your open cases and it'll have what your expectation is and a due date for it. So if I go back, I can look and I can tell you if I put something on her work plan in reference to this case and when it was due.
Okay, that'd be perfect if you have anything like that. Send it, or in your email archive, just any directive you may have given her to get this turned in.
Okay.
A couple other ones I have just kind of come from the case itself. Mm-hmm. And these were things I noticed just reviewing her files that didn't get done that I believe needed to. Mm-hmm. So on the murder case, mm-hmm. We've already addressed the ag. There was no attempt prior to getting the murder warrants to interview, at least not in her report, two of the suspects in this case. Was there any directive that she needed to try and talk to all parties involved? Because to me, it looked like it was a bunch of finger pointing amongst four people.
I'm pretty sure it was. I honestly don't.
If you don't, I know
I don't remember this case only because Ashley wasn't under me
okay.
specifically. Like, we all in homicide together. Some people tend to lean towards the sergeant that they like more than the other sergeant. So I can't say that me and her talked extensively about this case.
Was she on your team at that time?
No, I don't think Ashley was on my team.
Do you recall if after reviewing the report, you said anything to her as far as, hey, we need to get a statement from these other two, or at least attempt to?
I want to say during this report, I read the report, but she had already did arrest and all that prior to her completing her report. Okay.
And one of the kind of going with the report the same. Two of the guys provided alibis at first. Was do you recall any directive being given her to tell her to go follow up on these alibis?
I'm pretty sure we did, but being honest, on this particular case, I can't say yes or no. Okay. But I'm pretty sure we did because we normally want them to follow every lead and exhaust every lead prior to them making an arrest. I can't say one way or another because I wasn't initial for this case. Mm-hmm. I was there in the middle of some of it. So,
Probably going to be a similar answer, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it. The guy Carlos, the one that wasn't charged originally with the murder, mm-hmm. He obviously lied the first time, and she interviewed him the second time. And he gave up a little more, but at the same time, from my reading the report, I pretty much have no doubt that he's directly involved in this, but he's not charged with the murder. Just taking him based off his word without the interviews. Was there do you recall any discussion about that?
Now, I want to say she discussed this case in depth with the ADA. She was with the ADA, and the ADAs that was coming around that time, I want to say, I don't know because it's been so much movement, but Jenny was a figure. Jenny Geyer Parker and Matt Breeden was figures. And we would discuss cases freely with the ADA's office, back and forth. And they would say, okay, yes, I think you this, that, and the other. Because they would come over once, twice a week, just depending on what cases we had active at that time. And they would get with the detective and talk. So I don't know which ADA she was talking to. I'm pretty sure it was one or the other. And she was getting assistance with how to direct her case.
That was one of my other questions, was if that was still going on at that time. Okay. She mentioned in the report a couple of the search warrants she had done. I know you said a minute ago some things wouldn't come back.
Correct.
But for example, there was one, I believe it was for a house or an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't list any items that were seized. Is this common practice in the report to not list them and leave them in the search warrant? Is there any reason?
It's because it's within the forensics report. Because when you get the whole case file itself, you just list what you did, and if it's collected, that collection list will be in what the forensics officer did. So it's basically duplicating reports.
Okay. We talked about DNA. You said you knew that should have been over there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever follow up with her about phone extractions or tower dumps? None of these things were mentioned in her investigative report. Whether she did them, do you recall?
No, I don't. But I'm pretty sure she talked to whoever my co-sergeant was. No, I did not.
Okay.
But that would have been in her search warrant. Whether she got anything back or not, I don't remember the case. I remember reading what I wrote. I mean, reading what I signed, but I don't really remember the case.
Yeah, I understand. I understand if you don't remember, you don't remember. I can't.
Who you said was the co-sergeant? Was it Burdett or Santoro?
No, Santoro was gone at that time in 21. Burdett had to be my co-sergeant at that time.
Okay.
Another one of the big issues that I noticed was there any directive to your guys that if one of your suspects is arrested for a murder, you need to at least go try and interview that person?
Yes.
Okay.
But I want to say in the report she said that he refused to talk to detectives.
The female.
Oh, the female.
But she never went out there. She gets arrested at a hotel and taken straight to jail, and it's more or less, how a lot of detectives do it, ask them if they want to talk. Mm-hmm. There's no indication she ever went out there. So would that have been if you knew that, would that have been an issue that you brought up and said you need to make
If I would have knew prior to? Right. Yeah, I would have said at least go and try to talk to her, or go to the jail and see if she want to make a statement prior to arraignment.
Okay. Did you? I'm kind of going to jump over to the ag.
Being honest, I don't know nothing about the ag because that would have been aggravated assault.
Okay. Even though she made the arrest on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She took it from aggravated assault. And it's not uncommon for us to adopt a case if it has something directly to do with a homicide. But I don't know anything about the aggravated assault at all. But the little brief thing that I read.
Okay. So you don't know that they got a tag for a suspect vehicle and there was no follow-up on it?
Nope.
But had you known?
That would have been different. I had no idea about the aggravated assault, but the little blip that I read. And I don't even know if she referenced the aggravated assault case number in there.
I think it's all under the same CRN.
It has to be a different CRN because it's an aggravated assault.
My bad. Yeah, she just referenced that in this report. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't know anything about the aggravated assault, but like I said, in dealing with these homicide reports, dealing with these homicide cases, with it being 2 homicide detectives in there, I will get partial information, and my co-sergeant will get other partial information. And it won't be until we sit down together and we go over the case that we will get all information. Because if I'm on night shift, something happened on night shift, me and the detective will discuss whatever, and in the morning I'll discuss whatever when I see my co-sergeant, we'll discuss a little bit from whatever cases that are being worked. So it's not uncommon for a supervisor that has a co-sergeant not to get all pieces. It's not uncommon, and it's still going on now. It's just not uncommon.
Okay.
Even though we're one office, 4 individuals are for me and the other 4 are for my co-sergeant, but we intermingle just because of the schedules.
That's all I got.
Okay, so if you will, those emails or that spreadsheet of
Work plans.
yes, and anything you got given her directive via email or something like that. If you got it, please send it to me so we can.
If I can write down that case report number, that way I can know it.
Let me text it to you.
That'll work even better.
Okay, that's all I got.
Good.
All right.